So where are these conventional representations? And this is the bit actually that sits somewhat uncomfortably with me. We've got two items that are being used as kind of traditional symbols of love. The first one is a cute card. Everybody knows what they look like, and it's the ones with the white rabbits that are holding the flowers and the love heart. And it's maybe patties or whatever, very nauseous, you know the sort of thing I'm talking about. But the second thing that's being used as a traditional symbol for love is a kissogram. Does anybody know what a kissogram is? Oh.
Isn't that something you can hire to go and kiss?
Yes. So a kissogram is a person who you can pay to go and kiss somebody. Why would you pay somebody to go and kiss somebody? At what point in the year does one look at one's diary and go, I'm going to book myself a kissogram? You could potentially do it on Valentine's Day. It's something that I don't really understand, but it's something that has previously, historically, that people have done as a kind of celebratory thing, where if it's somebody's birthday or Valentine's Day or some kind of special occasion, they will organise they will pay somebody to come and kiss their partner or friend or somebody that there's some kind of connection. It's not just randomly. You don't just pay somebody to kiss somebody randomly in the street. Yeah, it's booked for a specific person. And she appears to be using it here as quite a kind of traditional symbol of love, but when you actually think about it, it's very bizarre that you would pay somebody to go and kiss your partner as a way of saying, I love you, that's why this person is going to kiss you. Very odd. However, certainly kissograms, I don't know if they were ever popular, but certainly was something that people did use as a romantic gift. So that's quite an interesting one, I should pick that, but we'll just stick with the straightforward. This is about undermining kind of traditional symbols, traditional representations of love and romance. And then she reintroduces again the extended metaphor of I give you an onion. We then have this metaphor, which is actually quite complicated, and it's the impact of love being compared to the impact being compared to the lasting taste that an onion creates. The similarity in the point is found in this idea of it being lasting. And this is the idea that love endures, which is quite romantic. You could also look at the word choice there, and I think this is perhaps where some candidates go slightly wrong, in the sense that they turn our narrator into some Bonnie Boy-like stalker woman who's really wielding a knife. And that's not the narrator that we've got in front of us. So if we look at the word fierce, it has connotations of extreme, absolute, and the point that's trying to be identified there is passion. I think where people go wrong is they see the word fierce and they think violence, they think aggression, and they think confrontation. And I think in this context, the word fierce has been used more to suggest passion. So one could say that our narrator is passionately romantic. Then we have this interesting word choice on possessive and faithful that you could certainly comment on, particularly possessive, that has connotations of ownership, belonging, and I would suggest that I would argue that it again is suggesting an insecurity, that she feels the need to take ownership of the other individual, or to see the other individual as some sense of belonging, I think suggests an insecurity on her part. And then we have the lovely faithful, which has connotations of loyalty, and it's suggesting the serious nature of their relationship. You can actually take those 4 lines as one entity for a piece of analysis by looking at the feature of enjambment, but you would then need to chunk down your analysis looking at the bits that I just talked about under that subheading. And I think the insecurity that I just referenced that we saw in possessive is then reinforced even further in the for as long as we are. So it's suggesting for as long as we are perhaps infers a doubt, a concern that the relationship won't last. But again, this is about inference. Then we move to the next angle where we have this repetition again of a short commanding sentence. So this is a repeated structure in the form of a short commanding sentence.
And I think on the basis of what we've just read in that last stanza certainly reinforces this idea of insecurity and a fear of rejection. And we have a really human voice here that has the flaws and weaknesses of human beings. We then have this lovely romantic image, which is a metaphor, where the rings on the inside of an onion, so if you cut open an onion, it's a bit like when you cut open a tree, you have the rings on the inside, and it is that that's been compared to a ring which symbolises commitment, a wedding ring. The similarity, keep it straightforward, don't overcomplicate it. I know there's reference there to platinum, and platinum might suggest something to do with the colour, but let's not overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. The similarity there is in the shape. But the similarity is not the thing that the writer is trying to draw your attention to. What the writer is drawing your attention to is emphasising the serious nature of their relationship. And she does that by suggesting commitment. And it's this last stanza that I think causes the greatest difficulty, and sometimes the greatest entertainment when you actually start to unpick what's being inferred by some people. And I think the problem comes in the single-worded sentence. So we have a short, single-worded sentence, and the function of which is to reveal the relational. And what is being revealed here is yet another aspect of love. And the aspect that's being inferred by the use of this word lethal is the fact that love can be destructive. Now, in terms of your analysis and being able to get it to that point where it's showing, well, how does that happen? How is it able to do that? You could also look at it in relation to word choice. And it's with that analysis that you could then link it back to this idea that love is destructive. So the connotations of lethal are sense of finality, the sense of ending, the sense of destruction. And again, that's quite unconventional. But please do not think that the narrator is threatening the life of her partner. Okay? She's not suggesting if the person wants to leave her, she's going to kill them. That's not what she's saying. She's revealing another aspect of love, which is that love can be lethal, it can be destructive. And this destructive aspect is extended even further with the metaphor that we then see at the end of the poem, where we have the impact of cutting an onion, the consequence of cutting an onion, being compared to the impact of love. The similarity is found in this idea of it being lasting, enduring. Just like the smell of an onion sticks to things and lasts for quite a long time, that's the point that Duffy's trying to get at with this metaphor. So essentially what our narrator is saying is that even when love is destroyed, even when a relationship breaks down, that still has a lasting impact. It's still something that stays with you. And in some ways, I suppose that is actually quite romantic. So if we go back to thinking about the narrative voice and the kind of qualities that the narrative voice has been able to express, what can we say about our person? Well, we can say she's romantic, we can say she's passionate, we can say she's honest, we can say she's loyal, perhaps she is somewhat insecure. So if there was a question, and obviously I have no idea what the questions would be, but if there was a question, last question about distinctive narrative voice, that's what's distinctive about that voice. The voice we hear is a romantic, passionate, honest, loyal and insecure one. And where I would like to leave it is summarising what this poem actually says about love. What is the declaration that is made about love? It says, love is romantic, it's fulfilling, passionate, it's painful, and it can be destructive. It is all of those things. And that is the sort of level of understanding and the point that needs to permeate all of the analysis that you do in answering these questions. That is the purpose of this poem, to tell you that that is what love is.